right, Greenleaf fans. Let the church say amen. This is our first time, talking about the series post finale. I did the live stream the night of the finale, and earlier today, well, it is Thursday when I'm recording this. So earlier today, I put up my finale review. That thing was dang near almost as long as the episode itself, but it's hard to say goodbye to a show knowing that there is a future for the series, but we just don't know exactly what that future is. Now, this video, I might have to end up doing an updated version of this video. I don't know what to title this video. Maybe it'll be something along the lines of everything we know about Delilah so far. Is Delilah going to be a Greenleaf spinoff? Is Delilah going to be an entirely different entity? I was going to wait because I was really hoping that one of my devoted fans who are so good at getting these things for me could have screen grabbed the I don't even want to call it a trailer, but the Delilah teaser, the little like 10-second thing that was like, from the creators of Greenleaf, a new project is in the works. And I wish I remembered verbatim what it said, but I think it just said the teaser, and I'm reading an article now because people have been sending me articles since Tuesday night. Lynn Whitfield has had multiple interviews. She's been doing a lot of Instagram lives, and unfortunately, I don't have time to watch these things because everybody and their mother's doing Instagram lives nowadays. But basically, she kind of touched upon a spinoff, and I've been even now I'm getting notifications. My phone's on silent. People are sending me, messages about what's been going on. So please keep in mind, it is August 13th at 9:16 p.m. Eastern time while I'm recording this. So this video may be up tonight. It might be up on Friday, which is the 14th. So if you come back to this video and it's like, you were wrong, shut up. This is just based off what we know so far. And with my luck, I feel like the OWN network is going to put the Delilah teaser up on their YouTube channel and social media and be like, yeah, we know you wanted to use this for visuals, but we're going to put it up after you do your video. Because you know me, I'm a sucker for visuals. Even though I just read what it said, Delilah coming soon. And that's honestly all we got from the creators of Greenleaf. But, I would have liked that for the thumbnail of the video. Maybe the thumbnail of this video will be Lynn Whitfield and Delilah. I don't know, but we'll just have to wait and see. So basically, before going further, make sure you give this video a thumbs up. I'd really appreciate it. The likes do help the video get traction on YouTube. Hit the subscribe button because, well, we are over 133,000 subscribers. Wow, that didn't sound right. 133,000 subscribers. Hit the bell icon and select all. That way you're notified whenever I post new content. And follow me on social media. Links are in the description below. And also, side note, I will be doing more Greenleaf content aside from this one, such as, things about the finale that I liked and didn't like, unanswered questions. Trust me, there are plenty. So, based on a lot of sources, and let me just go ahead and pull up my darn phone because I'm getting messages right now. I could be getting messages about this dang spinoff right now and not even know it. But I think before going into what this show may or may not be, maybe we should talk about Delilah in general, because that might actually give some insight of what this show could be about. Now, I'm a Christian myself, and I feel like if there's anybody out there who's Christian, I think you all know the story of Samson and Delilah. Wow, Delilah. I got Gamora on my mind. I watched a little bit of Avengers Infinity War earlier this morning. Anyway, Samson and Delilah. Basically, if you don't, trust me, there are Christians who need refreshers because maybe we haven't thought about Samson in a while. So no judgment, but let me just break it down simplistically if I can. Samson is the strong man of the Bible. Imagine Hercules or the Hulk, but in Bible days. That's pretty much it. He has long hair. Basically, this was in the book of Judges. At that time, it was like God had appointed people, to keep the people of Israel in check, or basically, God's chosen people in check, to make sure that they didn't worship idols and whatnot. Basically giving the people, I guess you could say, like an earthly vision of hope in real life. Someone who walks amongst them, but they were appointed by God to do his work here on earth. So some of a lot of the judges actually had interesting stories. Some are more quote unquote famous than others. I believe Deborah, if I'm not mistaken, was one of the few female judges, but Samson is the one that stands out, especially in childhood, because it's like, yeah, he's like Superman or Captain America. But essentially, with every superhero, if you will, and I know I don't want to use that term subjectively, especially as a Christian, but that's how most people will look at it. Every powerful person sometimes has a dumb weakness. For Superman, it's a piece of green rock. For Batman, it's well, shoot him in the face that isn't covered by his cowl, even though he probably has a bat shield for that. I don't know. With Green Lantern, take away his jewelry and that's it. For the Flash, well, I don't know. There's a lot of things with that. But Achilles' heel, if you know mythology, well, we all know about the heel. With Samson, it was his hair. So apparently, we might have a lot of Samsons out there, since during quarantine, a lot of people didn't get a haircut. But basically, part of what made Samson who he was, aside from being appointed by God before he was even born, an angel came down to his mother and basically told her, his mother, that, hey, do not cut his hair. He is a Nazarite. Basically, he's able to perform, due to the power of God, superhuman feats. And there are many examples in the Bible of where he does this. He kills a lion with his bare hands. Using the jawbone of a donkey, he massacred an entire army of Philistines, whatever your preference is. And if his hair was ever cut, boom, it would break the Nazarite vow. It would be violated and he would lose his strength instantly. So, where does Delilah come in? I just want to kind of set the stage here. Basically, Samson was kind of like Goliath, but obviously shorter. But he was a warrior for God's people to protect them, because obviously in the book of the Judges, there were a lot of conflicts between, the Philistines and the Israelites. But moving forward, the Philistines obviously were the enemy, and almost in a Romeo and Juliet fashion, Samson fell in love with a Philistine who wasn't Delilah. Let's not get that twisted. Samson actually fell for a person who wasn't, I guess you could say, on the same yoke as him. It's almost like a Christian falling in love with, let's say an atheist or a Muslim. They're not of the same yoke. And again, not throwing judgment. I'm just setting the stage for you. So that story actually did not end too well with the first wife. So yeah, not that good. We don't need to get into the full story because she wasn't Delilah. But then we move forward, and after killing all those Philistines with the jawbone of a donkey, he travels to Gaza, and he stays in the house of a harlot. It reminds me of, what was his name? Grandpa, or whatever his name was. Curtis Payne, his character on the Why Did I Get Married plays. Like, I believe they called her a harlot. And basically, enemies wait at the gate of the city to ambush him. But this dude rips off the gates from the city. And yeah, Samson won't play no games. It's like, look, I'm the strongest human on earth. Yeah, you're not going to stop me with your little spears and arrows. So he eventually falls in love with Delilah in the Valley of Sorek. I probably am pronouncing these names wrong. Look, I went to Liberty. I studied a lot of theology and whatnot. I got a few degrees in that, but I cannot for the life of me pronounce some of these names, no matter how many tests or exams I had. So Samson doing his thing. This guy has been a warrior for the Lord. He's been doing what he can to protect God's people. The guy who has slain hundreds of enemy forces with the jawbone of a donkey, seemingly invincible. But, every man has that one weakness, his heart. Yeah, believe it or not, he had two weaknesses when you think about it. Well, three: his ego, his heart, and especially his hair. So the Philistines eventually approached Delilah with the payment of, hey, let us give you 1,100 pieces of silver coins to discover the secret of Samson's strength. And then we can capture him, you'll be rich, and our greatest enemy will be toppled. So, multiple attempts, Delilah tried to get Samson to tell her the secret of his strength. He just playfully teased her like, hey, if I were to be bound by fresh bowstrings, then I will be helpless as a baby. While Samson's sleeping, he's woken up like, hey, Samson, the Philistines are here to kill you. And then the dude just, boom, Superman breaks the chains and beats the crap out of the guards. Then he tells her another lie because she keeps pestering him at this point. Bound me with new ropes. While he sleeps, he's bound by rope and he snaps him too. Boom. Knocks out the guards. Then a third time, if you bound me if my hair was bound or woven into a weaver's loom, I'll lose my strength. Yet again, Samson, they're here. Wakes up, snaps, beats the crap out of the guys. Okay, here's the problem with this. Does Samson not think it's strange that, the one person I told a false weakness to wakes me up repeatedly in the middle of the night? I find myself in a position where something I told her that would make me weak. Oh, I've been bound by chains strings twice, 3 times if you count my hair being caught. And nothing seems suspicious about this at all. Again, ego. So it gets to the point where Delilah continually pesters him and he finally gives in, saying that God supplied my power because through my hair, because of the fact that I'm a Nazarite. If I cut my hair, I will lose my strength. So Delilah then eventually puts him to sleep. And while she's sleeping, I believe like he's in her lap, a servant comes in and cuts his hair. So when the Philistines come back again, he loses his strength. They gouge his eyes out and they take him and imprison him. And he does work, manual labor, turning a large milestone and grinding grain. Then one day the Philistine leaders, again, ego. Hey, you know what? Our greatest enemy is now weak. Let's go ahead and tie him up to the pillars of the Great Colosseum. And they pretty much, are just mocking him. I believe they're having like a religious sacrifice to Dagon, who is like their one of their most important idols, or basically a deity, because again, these are not God's people, so they're not worshiping God. So at this point, the temple is just crowded. Where again, this is pre-COVID-19, so there are plenty of people in one area, and none of them were wearing a mask. So again, as the people are mocking him, Samson prays for strength just one last time. I believe in some variations, while he was in prison, his hair actually started to grow back, but he kept it a secret from everyone. So after he prayed, again, he's blind at this point. He prays, and the 2 pillars that he's used to support himself, because I believe he was either chained to the pillars, or in some variations, he asked like a servant boy who was kind of, leading him into the Colosseum, hey, I'm feeling weak. Could you put me up near the nearest pillars? And nobody questioned that, because they're like, look, the strong man who killed our armies is so weak, he needs to have pillars to support him. So God grants him strength one last time, and the force of his strength was enough to basically break the pillars, causing a domino effect. So the entire place crashed down, killed Samson and at least 3,000 people in one setting. So in death, or excuse me, his last act alive killed more Philistines than he did while he was, not in. Basically, the sacrifice he made to kill himself along with his enemies killed more Philistines than he did while he was alive, is the best way to put it. It isn't confirmed what happened to Delilah. Again, in some variation, she was among the others in the temple, and other variation, she wasn't mentioned at all. As soon as she enticed Samson to talk about his weakness and got the servant to cut his hair, and then the next morning he got imprisoned and gouged his eye, had his eyes gouged out. That's it. So we don't know what happened to Delilah. So that's the story of Samson and Delilah, and it's all about deception, lust, and betraying your heritage for the sake of your loins. So what does this have to do with Greenleaf? Well, it's a lot of speculation because of the fact that could Delilah be in relation to a character? I mean, when you look at Greenleaf, I would say Rochelle is definitely the Delilah of the Greenleaf series. But Rochelle, to be honest, her story is pretty much done. I mean, she got what she wanted out of Bishop, and that's literally it. I mean, if Rochelle ever showed up again, I could see it being in relation to Tara more than anything else, because, I don't see a need of bringing that character back for any big substantial role. I mean, some people are speculating, what if it's like a prequel series of, past encounters that Rochelle has had with other men of power who seemed untouchable. Maybe there were other pastors or people who worked in the religion circuit who were Samsons in their own right. Sure, they might not be super strong, but the moves they made were powerful moves for the kingdom of God, allegedly. Basically, Delilah is all about corrupting the seemingly incorruptible or uncorruptible, which obviously is false because Samson married a Philistine woman to begin with. So Delilah could be the story of, again, temptation, lust, power, greed. Because, I mean, I don't know 100% for sure, but I don't think the Bible really delves into the relationship of Samson and Delilah prior to the offer she was given of, hey, here's 1,100 pieces of silver. So I don't know how much your relationship to Samson was worth. Well, obviously there was a price put on it, and Delilah took the offer. So, I mean, unless it was like 1,900 or 1,099 pieces of silver, she wouldn't have done it. But 1,100, yep, I'll find out the secret. So there's potential there. But here's the question though: is Delilah going to be a Greenleaf spinoff or its own project? So looking at a message I received earlier today, let's see here. According to Lynn Whitfield's live last night, which was on Wednesday, she stated, it is another show by the creators of Greenleaf, but it's not the spinoff of Greenleaf. And then, man, I got at least 15 messages recently about this. One of the articles I got, let's see. Delilah does not involve Lynn Whitfield, nor is it connected to the official Greenleaf spinoff. She mentions that she looks forward to seeing what Delilah will be, but wants fans to continue to write into the network for a Greenleaf spinoff. Only thing I see possible is maybe Delilah will include at least one guest from the Greenleaf characters, like a guest starring role or reoccurring role or whatever you want to call it. But there is no word on that. This appears to be an entirely new series. It just involves the creators of Greenleaf. Lynn also said Delilah may start filming this week. Or she says Delilah, she thinks, starts filming this week. Now, if that's the case, holy crap. I mean, they did announce the Greenleaf spinoff before season 8 even started. You had that little promo, and let me see if I can find what the word said. Your prayers have been answered. A spinoff is in the works for Greenleaf. So it makes sense for Delilah to be something completely different, if you ask me. Now, all that's to say, and I know this video is lengthy, but trust, there are so many different angles. I mean, some sources are saying this is definitely related to Greenleaf. Other sources and interviews, remarks from cast and directors and writers have said, no, this is something. I don't know. I really would. First of all, just shout out to you all for, putting this much faith in me to report on this, because you all remember how nervous I was to get into Greenleaf in season 4, since more of you were fans of the series than I was, before I even started reviewing. So now that we're at a point where you flock to me about information, I do appreciate it. But let me just read exactly what this article has to say. I believe this is from express.co. Yeah, Express. And I'll put a link to this article in the comments section so you can read it for yourself. But as of the writing of this article, actually, let me get the date. This article came out today on the 13th. Let's see here. Okay. Greenleaf has come to an end with the season 5 finale airing this week, but the story is not over just yet, as a spin-off show was announced earlier this year. Remember, it was announced prior to episode 1 of season 8 airing. Here's what we know so far about the Greenleaf spin-off series, including the release date, cast, trailer, plot, and more. We know none of that. But let me just scroll through the article, because I read it before the video I started recording this, but I don't know. Okay, so when will Delilah be released? As of the writing of the article, a release date has not been revealed. Okay, then why did you say a release date in the top of this article? Again, we're all running on speculation here, so no shade to this article, but I'm just saying. Yeah, during the finale, we had the teaser, Delilah coming soon, and fans have already began to guess about what the drama sequel is about. One fan on Twitter said, "I bet Delilah is the spinoff, and I also bet that it's Grace's middle name." Hmm, that would be interesting. Grace Delilah Greenleaf. Well, then again, with Delilah's name being, I mean, honestly, when you think of biblical names, like you definitely don't want to name your child Judas or Delilah. So, I don't think Bishop would like that. I know that Grace technically isn't his daughter, but I don't think, nah, that would be interesting, but yeah, I don't know. While another fan wrote, "I know Delilah caused trouble for Samson," which was like the first 12 minutes of this video. I went into the history of Delilah. Um, and then another person, "Ooh, I would love something like that for the next show. A woman betraying a good man." Again, goes back to the story of Delilah. Basically, uh, a woman basically corrupting a godly man. I don't even want to say good man because Samson was good, but at the same time, he was corruptible. He basically allowed God's blessings to create an ego for him and lead to his eventual downfall. So I'm actually going to go ahead and see if I can look up the meaning of the word Delilah, and just give me 1 second. And while I'm doing this, again, make sure you like the video and subscribe. And make sure you share this one around because, as Lynn Whitfield said, put it out there about the Greenleaf spinoff. But to be honest, I don't really know if we need to show our support because we lost our dang minds when they announced the spinoff a week after they said Greenleaf season 5 was the last one. Okay, wow. Delilah actually is an appropriate name. Its meaning in a couple of different sources say delicate or weakened, which is ironic because Delilah was the person who got Samson to reveal his delicate and weak spot, which was the lack of hair. Very nice. Moving forward, who is in the cast of Delilah? So far, only one member of the original Greenleaf cast has been confirmed. Lynn Whitfield told Forbes magazine there's so much more to do with Lady May. I'm really excited about what's going to be next. We'll hear from Lady May. So far, no other cast members have been confirmed for the first season for the new show. But that's kind of contradictory because you literally... Yeah, this article, I should have found another one. I read like 3, but... Yeah, I don't think this is the best article. Well, okay, is there a trailer for Delilah? A trailer has not been released yet. There are no clips included in the teaser. That's absolutely correct. The news of the spinoff was announced on Twitter with a short video. Now, are they referring to the spinoff of Greenleaf? Then yes, because that trailer was revealed long before episode 1 of season 5. Because I've been looking all day for the flipping Delilah. I've been looking since Tuesday night for the Delilah teaser and I haven't found anything. If it's on Twitter, please tweet it to me. And again, my social media is in the description. Okay. Own's teaser, "We told you never to lose faith, prayers have been answered." That's in reference to the Greenleaf spinoff. A spinoff is in the work. Let the church say amen. Again, that was the teaser for the Greenleaf spinoff announced back in June, I think. So Delilah is still up in the air. We don't know squat about it. But I think that it would make the most sense for it to be a non-Greenleaf show because of the fact that, once again, I really feel like if there is when we get a Greenleaf spinoff, it should be done very carefully. Like, look at the time and effort put into the Greenleaf series itself. A spinoff, and I've said this multiple times, and I think a lot of fans agree with me. We don't need a spinoff just for fan service. Sure, it will get views and whatnot, just like, these ridiculous reboots and sequel films and remakes in Hollywood. When it comes to films, like, they break the box office. But just because you break the box office doesn't mean it's a good film. But then again, sometimes those movies are simply made to make a production company money so they can make the content they really want to make. But with Greenleaf, it's like it's something special and not to be taken lightly. And Delilah does have a lot of potential in itself. Like, again, it could be a female focused show where you have a good man. And the question is, can a man be corrupted? Yes. So I do think Delilah has potential. It doesn't necessarily have to be Grace in New York, Zora and Sophia in New York with, Grace and Darius. It doesn't have to be Lady May, because you could argue that Delilah could be, well, there's potential. Delilah could be in reference to Tara, because it seemed like we got a hint of Jacob and Tara possibly becoming an item in the future. Now, with the Greenleafs apparently back in power at the church, with May being the pastor, and we can guess that Jacob and Charity will be associates or whatnot. If Tara kind of came in, because we know that she has her own ministry that Jacob really likes, because it's on the scale or level that he's the most comfortable with, because it's getting your hands dirty and really helping the people, as opposed to making this huge mega church, So one could argue that Delilah, well, Jacob is anything but Samson, because technically they're both like womanizers, but at the same time, he's definitely proved to be corruptible. But at the same time, he would be the Samson of the Greenleaf family now. So Tara could swoop in and, have good intentions, but at the end of the day, she could bring the church and the house down. But I feel like that story, I like the way it ended. Kind of like, Cap being old and handing the shield off to Sam in Endgame. I feel the same about Greenleaf. Like, the war's over, the feud between the families is over. Now it's time to move forward together to the future. So I don't think Delilah should be a Greenleaf spinoff. I think the Greenleaf spinoff, take their time, develop it. I remember a poll I posted a few days ago. Let me pull that up on my phone. I believe I had multiple options. I'm like, okay, how would you want the spinoff of Greenleaf? Like, what would you want it to focus on? I believe I had like 4 different options here. And I said, okay, what kind of Greenleaf spinoff would you like to see? And we had over 600 votes. A Greenleaf prequel series, 14%. Zora and Sophia in New York, 8%. Greenleaf season 6, 65%. And then option 4, let the show be over and done with after the finale. That got 13%. So yeah, Greenleaf season 6 definitely took the lead in that election, if you will. But I think that Delilah itself is probably something that's going to be self-contained, because it could allow for more freedom, if you will. Like, the cast and, the writers, producers can do what they want with that show, and then in the background work on the future Greenleaf spinoff, whatever that may be. Because when you do a spinoff, it's typically focused on one main character, but that doesn't mean the cast from the main show couldn't make recurring or cameo roles. And I always use this example, but it's the most recent one. Fuller House, Danny, Jesse, Joey, Becky, and whoever else. They weren't in every single episode, but they would appear here and there throughout the series on Netflix. But when it comes down to Greenleaf, you could easily say it's going to be about May running the church. But then you also have Grace in New York. So the spinoff doesn't have to be focused on just one particular aspect of it. It could be focused on multiple ones. And that's a good thing. So with that being said, overall, I think Delilah definitely has potential. And if the Greenleaf creators show Delilah the same love, attention, and quality that they did with Greenleaf, I think we're in for one heck of a show, even if it's its own project outside of the Greenleaf universe, so to speak. I do like what that one tweet said about Delilah being Grace's middle name, but I really don't think that's the case, because when you look at Grace in New York, it's like, and I make this comparison to me from my time at Liberty to, well, I still live in Lynchburg, but whatever. Being in the outside world, it's a different atmosphere. Like working for 2020 isn't going to be the same as working for Greenleaf or the Calvary. Like there's going to be obstacles and whatnot. And Darius is going with you. So does he potentially get a job as well? Like, will there be a Delilah that tries to persuade him? I don't know. There are just so many ways this could go down. But let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Do you think Delilah is going to be its own separate thing? Do you think Delilah is going to be the Greenleaf spinoff? I don't think so. I do feel like it's too soon. Like, even with the 2 months or so between them announcing the spinoff to us getting to the finale of Greenleaf, I don't think it's the actual spinoff. Not yet. And I do feel like any spinoff definitely will probably be Lady Mae focused because of the fact that, well, look at Empire. Empire recently ended, and now they're already talking about developing a cookie focused series or spinoff. So only time will tell. And trust and believe, when any news comes down the faucet, you know, if I come across it or if somebody sends me an article or whatever, whether it be on Twitter, Instagram, DM, whatever, I will be sure to report on it after I get more, you know, sources behind it. So this video again will probably be up either today, Thursday, or Friday. I will be going out of town for a few days tomorrow. I need to make an appointment to get my inspection stuff done on my car before the end of the month. And, you know, fingers crossed I'm able to get it done next week, because I don't know what the heck is going on now with the whole COVID. Some places aren't even taking appointments till like later in the year, but, you know, fingers crossed I can get mine done quick, fast, in a hurry. I'll get that done. I'll be at home for a few days. So I'll be back around the middle or end of next week. So if you don't see any videos from me, well, then again, I did pre-record a lot of stuff recently. So if there's any news that breaks between, let's say, today and like Tuesday, don't panic. I'll report on it around this time next week. And with that being said, if you would like to donate to the channel, feel free to do so on PayPal or Cash App, or you can join Patreon for $1 a month, a minimum. And again, watch them post that Delilah teaser right after I post this video. You watch. So thanks so much for tuning in, guys. Thanks for sending me information, and I'll talk to you soon.